Dallas has just been on a tear. I believe we can attribute that to Jason Robertson. Also, Jake Ottinger, who's really stepped in.
Yeah, so we can compare a rookie QB to a toddler. Hayward's absence for this game will be significant, and I wouldn't be surprised if this game turns into a blowout as of late.
The Golden Knights just can't pull it. I really think the Avalanche are determined this year.
They made so many moves and grabbed so many guys that they have to win a championship or at least make the finals. They were on our championship and bust.
The same self, the only year he won an MVP was the year he cheated, which really should put something against that MVP. But
Yeah, and as a Cowboys fan, I have learned how dangerously good Aaron Rodgers has been with he can just thread a pass.
Hello, I am Ruby Ackerman, and you are listening to Outsider's Opinion with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. We're doing this thing where who has the most to prove? And I'm Kevin, and I'm joined by the man with the banner waving. Bet on yourself, Austin. He's accepting applications for Betting on Yourself campaign 2023.
That is true. I am. That is something I vehemently believe in. But for this video, who is the most approved is very vague, and there's a big way that you can go about it. You can either go based on what they've done in the past, or you can do it based on winning Super Bowls. You can do it based on a lot of different things. But we're doing it in 3 different categories by player, coach, and team. There can be no repeats team-wise, so I can't say the Bengals and then also say Ja'Marr Chase. Neither of those are my players or team, but you can't repeat there. But I'll let you start. Where do you want to go?
Okay, I'm just gonna go player. I'm wondering if we have the same player for the NFL. This is a guy that I just remember you were always talking about it. It's Geno Smith.
Okay, that's very close to mine. Same
cool,
kind of
cool.
aura. I believe more in Daniels than in Geno Smith than this guy, but I kind of gave it away there. Mine is Daniel Jones.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was afraid we were gonna go Geno Smith. I do like that. But yeah, so Geno Smith to me he got this contract, but it's 2 years. And this is a big season for him because if he follows up and with the Seahawks, they may change their plans on drafting. He may become the franchise quarterback of the
Yeah,
future.
even though last year was his age 32 season, and now he turns 33 early in the year, right before the season starts. Yeah, Geno does have a lot to prove, but I'm going with Daniel Jones. This is not necessarily based on contract because he obviously got paid, but this is something that he will have to show. The Vikings do have a potential out after before 2025, I believe. It's
Giants.
the Giants. Yeah, the Giants.
Gotcha.
So this season he will go through on his 9.5 million. Next year 35 and a half, but then 2025 there's a potential out. But he has a lot to prove. A lot of people did not believe in Daniel Jones heading into last season, but he obviously proved a lot of people wrong. Most people thought he was done. I did not. I liked his rushing ability, and I thought he could definitely be a great player if he got the right coaching. And Brian Daboll has really done that. He only threw 15 touchdowns and had 5 interceptions. He did lead the league in the lowest interception rate, which is a really good thing. He obviously rushed for 708 yards and 7 touchdowns. But he definitely has a lot to prove because that could have been a fluke. He could not, and he needs to show which one was true.
Yeah. Daniel Jones is a good pick. Similar to Geno Smith. And it's just, can they be the quarterback of the future and change their team's plans?
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
But yeah, so I'll let you choose the next one.
So my next is going to be coach, and I'm going to go with a coach that is has gotten a lot of players to join his team. He's a new head coach, not extremely new, but relatively new, and that's Robert Saleh. Aaron Rodgers and Randall Cobb and Alan Lazard have all come from Green Bay, and I believe did Mercedes Lewis as well do it?
Maybe, I don't know. I do remember Alan Lazard. Cobb. Could be.
Oh,
But he also brought in,
he's a free agent. Mercedes Lewis may sign with him. He may sign back with the Packers. I would love him back on the Packers. He's a extremely good blocking tight end who's a veteran presence, and I love our new tight end to learn from him. But with the Vikings, not the Vikings, with the Jets and Robert Saleh, they have so much to prove next year. And him as a coach, is he the right guy? They lost a lot of games last year that I thought they had a really good chance of winning. Going 7-10 was almost a disappointment after starting so well with Joe Flacco. Obviously, they have a better QB now than Zach Wilson, who really struggled last year. And we're going to have to see, is Robert Saleh legit? Is he a good head coach? And I do think this is really his last chance to prove this. Maybe if he gets fired after this year, it'll take a little bit for him to get back and he'll eventually get another shot. But I do believe if they miss the playoffs this year, he is fired.
yeah, especially with the trade and all that. That's a good pick. Mine isn't a head coach. For my coach, it's the offensive coordinator. It's Eric Bieniemy. This is a guy who his offense put up great numbers, but he's someone who I think he's been one of my top candidates for head coaching. And I just thought the Andy Reid coaching tree has been great, but for somehow it's been overshadowed by the quarterback play or his head coach, which I agree with. But other coaches got head coaching jobs compared to Eric Bieniemy, and they had similar circumstances. So Eric Bieniemy is now with Washington, and they have a new quarterback. It looks to be Sam Howell. He's going to be a rookie quarterback. And this to me is a big season for Bieniemy. Would you quote?
I just put quotes because technically he's not a rookie QB, but I get your point. It's first year.
Oh
starting.
yeah. It's his first year. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, quote. He did have one. Yeah, I played a little bit. I forgot about that. But with Eric Bieniemy, it's how well does this offense look? Is it close to what the Chiefs' offense was, in terms of yardage, points? How does it lead? Does it lead the league in anything? And this could really help Washington, but it also helps him because he may become a hot coaching candidate after 1 year away from Kansas City, especially to a Washington offense that really hasn't been good or top of the league since maybe those Kirk Cousins years. And were they even top in the league then? That's my question.
I can look that up really quickly, but yeah, to your point,
Yeah.
Bieniemy, I always thought was going to be one of those guys that was significantly looked at. Hey, he's going to be a great head coach in the future. But a lot of players, a lot of teams, really thought that that he wasn't the guy. Maybe because of Andy Reid, maybe because of Patrick Mahomes, and maybe other reasons. But I do really like that pick. The last time that Washington was a top 10 offense was a Kirk Cousins season, and it was 2015.
2015. I want
They
to
were
say
10.
the offensive coordinator for that year was Sean McVay.
Let me check. Offensive coordinator was Sean McVay. Yep. The last time they were in the top 5 was 2012, and who was the offensive coordinator that year? Did you say Kyle Shanahan?
Yeah, because that's RG3 year.
Yes, that was RG3. So the last 2 times they've had really good head coaches or future head coaches be their offensive coordinator, and they were top 10 each time. Maybe that's true with Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah, and do you know who was also part of that staff from 2012, around the 2012-2015 years?
LaFleur.
Yep, and pretty sure he was part of this.
Mike McDaniel.
Yep. I'm pretty sure he was around.
Yes, I'm pretty sure you're right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Eric Bieniemy too. And then I was pretty sure we were gonna have different lists. And then I guess I'll go into my team, which is the Rams. To me, I had 2 guys that had 2 previous good seasons. This is a team that just fell off. There were questions around the future of McVay, Donald, and now, of course, Stafford. But this is a big season for them because if they have another bad season, it may just go into full tanking. They tank for someone else and just shows that they're very far off from returning to the playoffs or even winning the Super Bowl. So this is a big season for them. If they do terrible, it seems like last year wasn't a fluke. It was a prediction of what was to come. Or they could go back to when they were Super Bowl contending and, hey, we had one bad year. We're still one of the best teams in the NFC.
Yeah, the coach of my team, I already gave away the team on accident, but the head coach of this team was also an offensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders back when they were the Redskins, and it was Kevin O'Connell. So we're talking about the Vikings here. The Vikings, and I don't think this is more about Kevin O'Connell. I think he's a great head coach already. I don't think, even if they regress some, I still believe in O'Connell. He proved so much last year. But with the Vikings, with Kirk Cousins, with Justin Jefferson, with a whole plethora of new players and a new running back because they got rid of Dalvin Cook, and there's so many changes on defense. This team was 13-4 last year, lost in the wild card round to the Giants, and they have a lot to prove. Many people did not see them going 13-4 last year, including myself. But if they can have another year where they just get at least 11 wins, I feel like we can say, hey, this team's actually legit. They weren't a fluke, and this team is someone to be a contender maybe in the future.
Yeah, it's a good point. I almost picked the Vikings, but they also had a good year, and they had a lot of clutch wins, or I'm saying clutch, but comeback wins. And it is something, because to me, the NFC North is wide open. Yeah, it's going to be fun predicting, but yeah, that's a good pick for the Vikings.
Yeah, I think both the teams we chose have a lot to prove. The thing is, the Rams have already won a Super Bowl, so does that dissuade them from being fully motivated?
Yeah, and can they become, does it just seem like a fluke of what they did, or a nice run, or do they get some more respect? So we'll have to see. I'm very intrigued on this, and let us know what you think. Let us know if you have a team, coach, and player. There are some other guys I wanted to add, but we were just choosing one. So that's all we got. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.